11:30. Joined by Chris Watkins, our Sactown Sports Digital do-it-all guy. Chris Watkins, you were in the building. Everybody was in the building last night.
Just about, everybody.
You guys took pictures.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was great.
It was great. It was a great time.
Especially,
it was awesome.
I'm glad everybody that really follows baseball got to go.
Oh, yeah. Big, almost said big ball knowers, but
yes.
I guess I already
say what you saying for real.
Yeah. I'm just
big ball
glad.
knowers only.
I'm glad that everybody got to be there.
It was such a good time.
That was there. But seriously, I'm happy that you did get to go.
Yeah.
I'm glad all the Sacramentans got to go.
Anytime someone says "but seriously," that's
actually.
Yeah. But seriously, I'm very.
I don't care what anybody says. You're great.
No, but seriously, I am happy for you and everyone that got to go outside.
That's so coded.
Of myself.
If I could just throw an early shot across the bow, if you were going to be like your other fellow Bay Area patrons, a lot of people out there just strictly to hate. I will say, it was
at the
game,
ballpark
for sure. There was a lot.
Okay, well, break this down for me.
There was definitely a lot of Bay Area media there that was 100% specifically there to tell you how bad the experience was.
Are you saying that from conversations or just what you saw on social?
Socials for sure, but also just mainly socials, mainly just the things that people were posting. It was as I was in the
talking about the shed?
No, I think the shed was fair. Shout out Ben Ross, who I did a show with a couple months ago. I said, "What's up to Ben?" That was, for sure, he definitely wanted to make sure that got out there. But I do think that was one of the actual crazier moments. And Ben posted the video of as the interview's going on, the tarps above are flapping and you can barely that was pretty crazy. Okay. I thought that was totally above ground, but it just kind of felt like there was a lot of people out there who wanted to tell you how bad things were going to go. And, frankly, there was a lot of material to give. I do think there was a lot of, I don't know if I would say behind the scenes stuff, but there were, obviously the radio broadcast, both radio broadcasts went down for a long period of time. The internet went down completely, which a lot of people are saying was, possibly because they weren't used to having that much media there for games and stuff like that. So there was definitely a lot of stuff behind the scenes that went pretty chaotic, but it felt like there was definitely some people out there who weren't there to tell the story of the day. They were just there to tell you how bad certain things were, because frankly, and it makes sense too. I'm not I was there as a Sacramento radio station to show how great of a day it was for Sacramento. But I think people from the Bay were there some people were there to say look at this, absolute clown show that left us and it continues to be a clown show over there as well. So, I get it. It just seemed like there wasn't a lot of down the middle.
Yeah. And I only really saw the shed. The shed is crazy. Yeah, it's really crazy. I'm not doubting. I'm sure there is more out. I saw the shed and I saw people talking about the radio broadcast. Yeah, those were the two things that I saw. Which
the swampy outfield as well. I literally didn't go down there, but
the Cubs were literally mocking guys for running out to the left field clubhouse in the middle of the game.
The walk of shame. Yeah, that was funny, but that was.
And there's a level of, the other side. I know the opposite broadcasts have been taking their shots, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Not just the Cubs. A couple have, even going back to the Giants, the Giants game, and purposely kind of saying Oakland. So during spring training, so there's definitely been a lot of that. I know, man. I don't
have a problem with it.
It's a tough situation.
I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it's a tough situation because you are collateral damage, but you knew you would be collateral damage. Right now, you, Chris Watkins, or the dad who takes their daughter or son, they're not collateral damage. And how much do they really care anyway? I do think this is a lot of, it's our turn. There's just two sides to this thing. There's, hey, this is how I feel about it. Y'all shouldn't be doing anything. Then there's the other side that not enough people are putting themselves in each other's shoes. Yeah. Not enough people are seeing the other side of these situations. So it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it goes.
For sure.
Time heals most wounds. So hopefully.
Speaking of that too, funny. I thought you'd really enjoy this.
Okay.
Yesterday we talked with a fan who was sitting right in front of us, and he was asking us like, "Oh, you guys got your media credentials? Who you work for? Whatever." Yeah. We asked him like, "You're an A's fan? Like, what's up?" He was one of the never againers who said, "I would never, ever, ever go to an A's game ever again." This guy was from San Jose. Came from San Jose.
From San Jose to Sacramento?
To Sacramento after saying he was never, ever, ever going to go to an A's game again. And granted, this is anecdotal, so you can't say, I guess A's fans are all liars or whatever, but I do think it is maybe, as we saw, like it was a pretty full ballpark, I think until, around 6:30 or so, like it was 90% A's fans in there. Like I do kind of think that there's a lot of people, and maybe it was just for opening night to see it all, but I think there's going to be a lot of people who said that they would never go that will eventually.
So he said basically he changed his mind and he's going to go to games now.
I don't know if he's going to go to multiple games, but he definitely came out last night and went to the game. And I think he brought his kid or his wife or something.
Right.
Had it at a time, but also at the same time, definitely was like, this ain't Oakland, and whatever was definitely crapping on it. But I just thought you especially would have enjoyed that. Because I know a lot of people were definitely like upset and saying, never, ever, ever, and if you do, like, you're crossing that picket line and all that stuff. But I just think it's going to be a lot harder than what I think people thought.
When you were at the game yesterday, were you taking it all in? As far as, I saw people, this is how we know Sacramento is a major league town. Did you look at it like that? Or did you look at it like, look, this is a once in a lifetime situation. Of course, people are going to show out. I think we all know how passionate Sacramento is about their sports. I don't think we needed and maybe we did, because I don't know that filling a 12,000
wasn't extraordinary. No, extraordinary.
I don't know that's going to convince. I don't know if that's going to convince Major League Baseball. Oh, we need to stay here. You better be packed every single damn game, and they're not going to.
No. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, you look across MLB and a lot of opening day series, and there was a lot of empty seats.
Less than 12,000.
Way less than 12,000. Yeah. You look at that Angels White Sox series. Like, granted, that's probably the two worst teams or least exciting teams in baseball, and not a lot of people show up to that. But I mean, personally, no. Like, it was interesting. I think 90% of people in media probably were there, and saying I directly heard them say like, wow, this is amazing, and like this is incredible. As you know, I'm a little bit more jaded of a person in general.
Yes.
I didn't think it was anything crazy. I didn't feel any super special energy or anything.
Connection to the A's.
No, I personally didn't feel it. I'm not going to say it wasn't there. But I was even talking to our buddy Matt George, who, frankly, and I did kind of realize this too, like not a lot of people who are born and raised in Sacramento, and like, me and Matt were talking, and Matt was more so on, Matt's an A's fan or a former A's fan. He was more on the side of this is special, but we were talking for a little bit, and I just kind of told him, like, I've seen this before. Like, I've seen Rayleigh, or I still call it Rayleigh Field. Like, Rayleigh Field used to be packed in the early 2000s. Like you said, we know Sacramento's a crazy fan base. It didn't feel crazy special or anything like that. Didn't mean it wasn't a great night. Didn't mean it wasn't really cool to see all those people out there. The excitement, the lawn was ridiculous. I think they claim that they're only going to put 250 people out there. It was packed. The entire lawn. So it was a great night. 100%. The game obviously sucked. But I didn't really feel the something special is in the air.
How was the pop for Jacob Wilson's home run?
It was pretty good. No, it was definitely pretty good. That was really like the best 10, 15 minutes of the game for sure, was the Wilson home run. Then you get Lawrence Butler up. He hits a double.
That's
I think that might have scored somebody. And then I think Max Muncy hit an RBI double as well. That was kind of like the only time where you really felt some pop. I will say, there you go. There's another video actually that did kind of upset me. I think it was actually our friend Ben Ross as well.
Okay.
Kind of put out the, Chicago Cubs fans are going crazy early in the game.
I saw that.
Again, like I would say about 30 minutes before first pitch, it was very clearly like a majority A's fans, which makes sense because, it's a new environment for them. A lot of people wanted to rush to get the lawn seats. Like, of course, the A's fans were going to be the early showing crowd, but, it wasn't, to me, again, like the Cubs delegation in there was not extra special, or like it was very, very you go to any Giants game, you'll see a sprinkling of that many opposing fans.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The only playoff game that I've been to for Major League Baseball was Giants-Cubs. And it was a game where the Giants were leading. I think they blew it in the 7th, 8th inning. Cubs fans everywhere.
Yeah. And especially it's the Cubs, too. Like, the Cubs
this is San Francisco.
Franchise.
This is San Francisco,
right.
World Series champs, in their home ballpark. Cubs fans everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's these ulterior motives. And
no, I'm not saying it's not going to, the Padres come to town. Shout out Kyle. You know, the Mets come to town. Juan Soto. Obviously, Frankie's Yankees come to town. The Dodgers come to town. Like, those are going to be a different situation, but we see those at Kings games all the time, and nobody ever says, oh,
the
wow.
Celtics.
All of it. I mean, the Bulls, the Lakers, Warriors fans, all of them. Like, it's what happens sometimes.
Well, before we get you out of here, I mean, we played Chrissy's cuts, Doug Christie, in the game last night. I mean, it sounds like
watch it on a tablet. It was fun.
We're not even to the point where it feels like, hey, we're growing towards something. No. It's just
they're limping towards the finish.
There's 7 games left.
Yeah.
Either they're going to do what I ask of them or they're not. And the season either is going to keep going or it's going to end. That's how I'm hearing Doug's post games, because it is what it is. We got 7 games left. Figure it out or don't.
I mean, at this point, you're not installing anything new.
No.
We've talked about it on the roundtables before. I'm pretty surprised that he made the Keon move even at this point, which you could argue was a little bit out of necessity and circumstance definitely led itself to make it a little bit easier with Malik's injury and stuff. But I mean, at this point, the team is who it is. There's been some debate on how much they practice or not. At this point, practice ain't doing you no good.
No.
All you can do is take care of the opponents. You got Charlotte, you got Washington right in front of you.
Yeah.
You have to win those. And, even now, I mean, the Kings are a half game out of the play-in completely right now, as somehow the Mavericks have escalated to the 9 seed and they're now fighting with Phoenix. So, it's a complete mess. It's one of the least exciting endings to a season that I can remember, period. Because even when you're a bad team, the end of the season is fun because this is where you get to play your Colby Jones's 40 minutes and, get your experimental thoughts out and stuff like that. But, this is just a season of complete disappointment that is ending in a way that is incredibly they probably will not finish above 500 or even at 500. And that's insane considering the expectations at the beginning of the season, whether they were right or wrong. I mean, I think that everyone expected this team to, at the worst, be, a 7 seed in the play-in.
Chris Watkins, thanks so much as always. I'll see you down there at the barbecue at some point. Be sure to follow Chris on social media, all the great stuff that he does with us for our own account and on his personal account on X. We will talk to him again soon. On the other side, we continue to break down what exactly happened in Indiana and also what happened in Sacramento. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's number